What up, though, good people? I'm Jay Raphael here with Montel Skrilla and D. Merle, and you're listening to the Talk 100 podcast. Let's go.
You are listening to Talk 100 with TEL-SCRILLA, D. Merle, and Jay Raphael. Tune in every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Friday night. Fellas, what's happening? Y'all good to
In the
go?
building.
In the
Yeah, we in the
building.
building, man.
Hey, if it's your first time stopping in with us, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, pass it around, share it with your friends. What we do every Friday night is hook up, link up, chop it up about current events, trending topics. We always make sure we keep it a buck. Check us out online, talk100.com, YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Twitch, and talk the number one HUNNID. Once again, thanks for being here on a Friday night with us and giving us your support. If you want to link up with us and be a part of the conversation, you can catch the live show on our website by clicking the live link in the navigation bar. Fellas, whole lot going on in the world.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We got sports tonight. We're going to chop it up about, we got a bunch of segments we're going to run through tonight. Crisis that's going on in the world, entertainment news, some social behaviors, a little bit of business, and a whole lot more. So make sure you stay plugged in, stay rocking with us, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, this is your boy Montel Skrilla, and you are listening to Talk 100. Catch us every Friday night at 9 p.m. on Twitch. Just search NCG Media, and on YouTube, Talk 100, and Facebook, Talk 100.
Man, I guess we're going to kick it off with this crisis, man. It's like, the second week that we done had a mass shooting, right at the beginning of a new presidency. We got this active shooter situation in Boulder, Colorado again, and this guy went and shot up the supermarket and killed 10 people. Y'all been hearing anything? I mean, I know it's been a few days now. Have y'all heard anything, any latest news regarding that?
Of course. Go ahead, D-Mom.
Well, it's still fresh, but yeah, it's just real wild. So his name is Ahmed Alawi Alyssa. That's his name. And he opened fire at a King Soopers grocery store in Colorado, killed 10 people, including a Boulder police officer. Took one of them down too. But he's still alive after he did all this.
Yes, he is. So I saw that it kind of unfolded live on, was that Facebook or something? Like some people was walking in and capturing the scene while it was going down. Bullets were still flying. And so 1,000 people tuned in to that. That's crazy, man, just to witness that going down like that.
Yeah, especially because he had an AR-15.
Now, how old was this guy?
AR-15, he opened up fire.
What was his age? Was he like younger, in his 20s, right?
Yeah, he's young, and I didn't really catch that here in what they wrote up on the article. He removed all his clothes too. He was dressed only in shorts when he was taken into custody. So he started getting naked as the police came, they said. So I know something's wrong with him. Yeah. And then they asked him, did he have any other suspects that was with him? And he asked, at that point, he asked to speak to his mother.
Skrilla, what's your take on it?
Well, I tuned in like right as it happened. I think I was texting you, and I was watching a lot of the different news broadcasts, ABC, NBC, CBS, and immediately after it had happened, they weren't saying that much about the shooter, but each person was detailing like you know, what they saw or whatever. And I don't know, it's probably not funny, but at the same time, I did laugh. And so they interviewing the guy with the glasses, and they say, "Well, did you see the shooter?" And he's gonna say, "Oh, I can't see that good." So anyway, um, yeah, it was a bunch of people talking about, you know, basically how they was, you know, fending for their lives, and but it wasn't a lot of immediate information about the shooter, but it was you know, just a lot of emotional lism going on, and you know, people just fearing for their lives, you know. But immediately, of course, the propaganda, the ulterior motive, if you will, they immediately go to the gun rights now.
Yeah.
I was telling you guys earlier about the ironic, you know, uh, you know, details of this case. Another lone gunman, you know, possibly under the influence of some drug or something like that. You think about that, like, you know, you do something that crazy, and then you start taking off your clothes, kind of like seem like he was hot or something. You know what I'm saying? So maybe we could, you know, maybe look into what kind of psychedelic drug or mind altering drug would make you take off your clothes and ask for your mama. You know what I'm saying? No motive, just I guess apparently what they're gonna try to say is that he was a crazed gunman.
Well, I saw
And
some reports that said that he was he was born in Syria, right? I think he was
Mhm.
born in Syria. Pretty sure I saw that. And I mean, could he have been like, you know, I don't know, brainwashed or something like that? You remember the guy in Detroit the African guy who kind of got brainwashed and was going to blow up the airplane? You know, I don't know. That's a
Hey,
possibility.
it seems like it could have been something along that line there, because of course he got the gun easily. Of course, it was an AR-15, a black one at that. Um, you know, just pretty much the you know, the mass shooting has the
The
mass
mass
shooter
shooting
has
has begun.
arisen again.
Yeah,
You
right.
know, we had 8 years of Obama, and it was a bunch of mass shootings, and then now, you know,
Yeah, we're
it
going to
it
get
it
into
ceases for 4 years,
it.
and then 2-3 months into this, you know, presidential candidates, well, actually he's not the candidate, but
Right.
president administration, the mass shooters, they somehow resurrect.
And we're gonna jump. We're gonna get
Well,
on
well,
that. Let's before we
what?
switch it up to the politics, though. Before we switch it, just the saddest part of this to me was the police officer. Like I saw a report that said that he was a 51-year-old cop, and he was just
Mhm.
about to change jobs because he didn't want his family to worry about him, you know, in that line of work. And then this happens.
And then that happened. And
That's
guess what
terrible.
also happened? What also happened is the brother said that he was paranoid, and they said, oh, by the way, he's 34 years old, and they said that he suffered from mental illness through the years. And so this is what the lawyer's going to do when they go on the stand. So we
Of
know how this
course.
could end up for
Well, I
him
mean, of course.
on the
That's the
mental
only
illness
way.
side. He's been suffering from mental illness for
That's
years.
the only way to go. I mean, if you want to stay alive, that's the only thing you can do is say, yeah, I was crazy. I wasn't in my right mind. But then it just becomes that type of fight. I think it's pretty easy once you know, do all the psych evals and all that type of stuff. But who
But
knows?
also, we got to point out too, along with all the other mass shooters, if they are claiming mental illness, then typically they give them drugs. You know,
Yeah, right. If you're
and
not
it's
crazy, you will be after a
well,
few
no, I'm
months of
just
this.
saying a lot of them have a history of using mental, well, what do you call them?
Medications.
Medication that is prescribed to people with mental illness.
Right.
Now, what the question should be after that is, are these drugs altering the minds of these people in some kind of way, allowing them to just, you know, reach that point and do something like this? Because there can't be a motive. You know what I'm saying? Like, why this grocery store? Why on this day? Why now? You know, I'm looking at a report by ABC News, and they're trying to say back in high school in 2018, he was found guilty of assaulting a fellow student in class after knocking him to the floor, then climbing on top of him and punching him in the head several times. So how do you go from just a fight to just eventually, you know what I'm saying, 3 years later, just snapping and taking the AR-15? Bought the gun now 3 days prior. You know what I'm saying? What causes him? And you know, what is it about mental illness? Show me in the book that they study in the schools. What is it about mental illness that makes you go get a gun 3 days, you know, before you run into a grocery store and just randomly shoot people? Why just not go get the gun and just walk out of the gun store and just start shooting people then? You know, why is it always the same?
I'm sure some type of impulse attached to that too, man. You know, like maybe he lived close by and he just picked a place that had a lot of cars in the parking lot. I don't necessarily believe it was a strategy, because I'm sure you could have picked better places that were more populated than a grocery store if that was the case. So I don't know, man.
That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna say, okay, I'm just gonna go kill as many people as I can, it's just I guess you can't say, you know, it's logic to someone with mental illness. But why is it always the same case? The mass shooter buys a gun just days before they go out and just shoot up a school or a grocery store, or whatever the thing is. Why is it that they never buy the gun in the same day, just go out and shoot people?
That's the same thing. That's just like the Virginia Tech shooting. So, I mean, we can go on and on, but it was the same type of setup where he supposedly had these mental illnesses. He was able to purchase the gun. He didn't just immediately go out and start shooting people, you know, but it happened later on. So, I don't know, man.
Same setup. We just have to wait and see what's going to happen.
Pretty much.
I suspect that we probably hear more about the gun rights and gun control than the actual case that this young man is going to go through. That's my prediction.
Well, what's up with this this COVID, man? What's going on? What's the latest on the analysis, the rundown? Last week it was nearly 30 million.
That's right. Well,
okay,
the numbers as far numbers on, you know, there's still 1,000 a day. That's still where it is. You can't completely halt. Can't completely halt that. It's a complete wildfire. That's already the case. So what you can do is it's push the medicine as much as possible, and you can have also people that are still, there's a good deal of people who are still following those CDC guidelines, recommendations of, you know, still wearing them. I still, even down here in Texas, I still see a lot of the mask wearing and all that good stuff. Now the distancing, not a whole lot. I mean, you go in the gas station, people like, you know, they and while they're in line, they stand on the spacing where it is. But just in general, I mean, everybody's not going out of their way. Hey, whoa, you look too close to me. Like, that's not what's happening. So kind of people are still, you know, passing through as normal, but their faces are covered. You do see a lot of that. But President Joe Biden, he just announced yesterday, what is it, that he had a new goal of 200 million COVID vaccination shots being given within his first 100 days since he beat the 100 million. So he's up to 200 million. So
Skrilla,
that
you got
time
the CDC page popped open?
Yeah, we got 137 million vaccinated, still 543,000 deaths, and 29 million cases.
And still going up, or are we trending back down? What's up with this third and possible fourth wave I've been hearing about too? Still a lot, you know. Over there in Germany, I heard something like they was approaching or starting the fourth wave. I don't know if this ain't making no sense. I thought we all go through it at the same time.
It's making sense.
They're not closing the airports, so we should all be going through the same thing at the same time. Seemed like to me.
But just like you said, J. Rao, and I guess are we coming back from break here?
Nah, we good. Go ahead.
No, well, just like you mentioned before, remember those other countries, a lot of them are doing the full shutdown so they can pull the numbers down. See, remember, we still don't do that. That's really the other missing link to this. Like all of this figuring out if a vaccination is going to ward off of that. We're not going to skip time. You know, they asked Jennifer Sack, the White House president, same reporters re-asking the same thing. You think something can change over time, but it ain't going to change from the last 24 hours that you just asked that question. Stop asking it. It's not, the number's not going to evaporate, and you know it. You don't stop no wildfire like that. Like that's just, it's crazy. The point is, are you taking action? This is whoever on administrations of whoever. The point is, when something goes on, number one, are you taking the actions you should be taking to start getting the wildfire? Yeah, we can be accountable and watch for what happens, but not unrealistically and not expect stuff that's crazy. But
hey, I saw an interesting question this week. It said, shouldn't all the non-maskers be dead by now?
Oh my goodness.
People who don't wear masks, like it was just, I mean, I think it's a fair question, a controversial question. I mean, it would take somebody a lot more educated than me to come back on that, but based on how they've been selling it and selling this mask situation, there's plenty of people who just don't wear the mask, especially since they done lifted it in a lot of places. So shouldn't they be all contracting the virus and experiencing the worst?
Well, not necessarily.
What you say, Montel?
I say what happened to the flu, man. That's what I say.
Same old. Hey, we'll be right back though.
You are listening to Talk 100 with TEL-SCRILLA, D Murrow, and J Raphael. Tune in every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard
Boom.
So look, man. Do you think we need gun control? That's what I want to know. I guess that's just the bottom line.
At immigrations, or where?
No, I'm just saying, period. Do you think that the United States needs to reform the whole gun, conversation? How they go about, just reform, whatever, just gun control, period?
No.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Wow, everybody should have guns in their hands?
Yes, that's your constitutional right.
I don't know that I want somebody who has mental illness or somebody who is a repeat offender of violent acts and not, I had to defend myself. No, proven on record violent acts. I don't know with full criminal mind. And
under the federal law, you can't get a gun if you got a violent record anyway.
Well, that's why I said that, because when you answered that, you answered in a wide open thing, as in all of the Americans that live in this country should openly be able to be carrying guns. That is wild.
It's more so the case too, though.
No, but yeah, illegally, and that's a problem.
I mean, legal or illegal.
Illegally,
9 times out of 10, the average person got a gun. That's that. You can pretty much, and there's nothing that will stop a person from illegally getting a gun in this country, even if you ban new sales of guns.
So how would the government control these mass shootings and things of that nature? How are we going to stop the mentally ill people, guns from landing in the hands of these people who are more likely to do something like this?
That's a good question.
Does it
man.
need to be
I mean,
managed? We just need to just say, well, hey, that's just part of cleansing America, mass shootings. Like if we do nothing,
I say we need to investigate fully all of the mass shootings and let the truth lie where it be.
but
You cannot tell me
there's a
that
system
all
that
of
needs
them
to
have
be
the
addressed.
same trend. All of them. All the mass shootings have the same trend.
But listen though, there's a system that needs to be addressed. Somebody gotta be held accountable.
That's right.
It's either it's
right.
one of these communities,
There's too many
the
agents.
medical
There's too many agents
community,
getting harassed.
the science community, the government. Somebody need to be held accountable for innocent people, just getting killed. Like they signing it up so that they can be owners. Like they got the laws, you know what I mean? Like you got to get it checked by the FBI.
You figure you take the rights of other people just because there's a mass shooting. Like, I mean, I don't
I'm not
subscribe
saying
to
that. No, I ain't saying that. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying the process is just like getting a driver's license, man.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go through more checks and before you.
I mean, there's no way you can. Whether it was a gun or somebody decide to run you over with their car because they have mental illness, it's no way to stop that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if it's not a gun, it's a knife. If it's, you know what I'm saying? If is the issue mental illness or is the issue guns? This is just, remember my point of me saying that earlier is it only goes to gun rights when it's a mass shooting, you know what I'm saying? And it's ironic that just days before they go out and get a semi-automatic, not a 9mm, not a revolver, you know what I'm saying? It's just too many trends that is general to mass shootings. But I mean, if scientists said, okay, well, when people are mentally ill, they want to kill a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So then we get into the psychology of that, but I'm not if that is their thing, if that's the mental break for them to, have mental illness for a lot of years, take medicine, and then snap one day and say, oh, I want to kill a lot of people, then how do we know that they only want to get a gun? You know what I'm saying? Like right now, that may be the medium. But if you don't get a control of the mental illness itself, then how can we really say that, okay, we took all the guns off the shelf and we still going to have mentally ill people? So why not make a cocktail bomb? Or, you know what I'm saying? How do we know that the guns itself will stop the killings?
We gotta better manage the people that we allow to get these guns, man. Period. You're right. They shouldn't take the rights away from people who deserve and who need to have it. But they got to do something. We gotta be able to check. You're right. It's probably like
if somebody in that grocery store would have had a gun and popped him, that essentially would stop that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and that's
but
essentially
that would never been happening. It would have never happened if that guy wasn't allowed to get a gun. But
I mean that's the argument that always comes about. But what I am saying is there is nothing scientifically that I have seen, read, or heard that would say, if we're saying that somebody mentally ill just wants to kill people, what is attracting them to the gun? Is it the ease of it, or is it you know what I'm saying? Because if that is their ultimate goal, is okay, when mentally ill people finally reach that pinnacle, that apex, then they want to kill. If you took the guns away, who's to say they don't poison your food at the restaurant? You know what I'm saying? Let's deal with the mental illness itself and not so much of the gun part of it. And again, it's a very interesting topic because who's in control? It's like I don't know. It just seems like a very systematic thing now to just talk about mass shootings and gun rights.
I agree with that. I definitely think it definitely started with spending some money in the right places and beefing up the education and the knowledge. And they doing a campaign right now. They're spending billions of dollars trying to get people to take these vaccines. So and they finna be paying celebrities and everything, huh?
Well,
I'm just talking about the effort.
The worldwide health crisis is at the top of the list of everything.
Well, listen,
as it should be.
I'm only talking about whenever they want to do something.
I'm just addressing what you just said.
Whenever they want to do something, they're gonna spend that money towards that. Period. That's my only point. So then you just, I guess, have to address the level of importance.
Yeah, and also why only the vaccines to combat COVID? Why not? Now we've had over a year now to research this thing, and I posted this on the page earlier this week. Why isn't there any treatment for COVID?
Well, they said they got
when you deal with the flu, you have the vaccine, but before even if you don't decide to take the vaccine, there's treatment, antibiotics, other things that the doctor could use to treat you if you do get the flu, and there's even preventative care. So I would like to see all of those things, and it's not just a concern of mine, but it's also a concern of
I've been hearing about that
doctors all over the country.
Yeah, I've been hearing about that.
I agree with that. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jay. Go ahead, Jay.
No, I was just saying I've been hearing that what he just said this week on the news, just about treatment. They was talking about a pill this week. They was talking about preventatives just yesterday, actually, on the radio in the car, WWJ. So, but
see, there you go.
So the conversation is out there.
There you go. They're doing their thing. But I think because when you talk about a pandemic, when it's out of control, of course, because as we know what they have those antibodies of the actual virus in there, I think the scientists, and again, we have our trust or whatever measures of trust we want to have within them or whatever the case. But when you go that route of vaccination first, like you said, or other process, because normally it would be like what you're saying. And that's still to come, like you said, pills and the medication and all that with it. But I think the notion is the snake bite deal. Wait a minute, everybody's been bit by a snake. Right now, yeah, it's gonna get antibiotics. Right now, let's get this antivirus, because if it gets to them organs or whatever else, you gone. And right now, it has been people gone because of other underlying and medical issues, this, that, and the other. So I believe, and again, I don't know if that's where the scientists went with it, with that decision on where we are now. On, hey, the 3 major medical companies that can make the medicine go first on the vaccination, and let's load up everybody we can to flood that in so it can stop penetrating like it's doing. Then we can go to. That's what I don't know if we've done it. J-Rap, do you think we've been doing it as much as possible? I'm saying collectively as a whole. Some states are a little bit better than others, obviously. Like Florida is a little bit wilder.
I mean, they never gave a good effort, man. I don't think we ever
collectively
gave
have we done it like Canada or somewhere.
Well, the whole philosophy is to stop the thing from spreading. So when they was doing the so-called shutdown, it wasn't really completely shut down, or it wasn't really shut down good enough. So I don't think they ever really put forth a good effort in really shutting down.
In order to really kill off a lot of the high numbers.
At least a good 30 days, just shut everything down.
And then manage it from there.
Yeah.
Because that's what Italy and all those other countries did. They said, and we're going to give out tickets if you disobey. We're not playing with y'all. See, they didn't go, the United States government, they didn't go hardcore like that as a collective. We all 50 states. Because we're all big, as they say, we're all baby. Too much kicking and moaning when just even the partial shutdown happened. Oh man, we gonna do? It was too much kicking and moaning, and they give in, and the governments give in. No, well, you know what? Let's open a little bit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Well, we shall see, man. I mean, like you said, the bottom
We're
line
gonna see,
is
baby.
we need to really. I just think before we get off of it, personally, I feel that it's time to readdress everything. You know, like it's a whole lot of things that's just out of whack and it's old, it's outdated. A lot of these laws, a lot of these rules, it was created in a time where we didn't have this technology. We had technology, but we didn't have technology like this with this exponential growth and changes. It's crazy, and it's just time to redevelop everything from the immigration system, you know, with what they got going on with that. And I know we didn't miss out on that. We still was gonna, I guess, touch on that. This immigration thing is real big this week. And you know, Skrilla, you sent me that video where it was, you know, they was just turning people away, man, and people just telling their story, and they traveling across the desert to try to, you know, come and make a better life. And I don't know, man.
Were they turning away the Tanzanian president?
Yeah, nah, he passed away, man. What you talking about? John
That's right.
Magufuli? Well, no.
Yes.
That had nothing
He was
to do
buried
with.
he was buried in his hometown.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Well, we're gonna jump on that, man. We'll be back in a minute, y'all.
Yeah, this is your boy TEL-SCRILLA, and you are listening to Talk 100. Catch us every Friday night at 9 p.m. on Twitch. Just search NCG Media, and on YouTube, Talk 100, and Facebook, Talk 100.
So, John, what's his name? Skrilla Magufuli?
Magufuli.
The president
John Magufuli
of Tanzania was buried 10 days after passing away at the age of 61. And this is kind of keeping us on the COVID conversation too, because there's a lot of controversy with his death and as it relates to his opinion and things like that. And Skrilla, you probably more versed on it than me, but it's pretty ironic how that happened, right?
I read a little bit of it too myself. Yeah, because that was very interesting.
So
I mean, it's simple. It's simple, man. He was missing for 2 weeks now. Came up dead with heart complications, right? Yeah. But yeah, this was the same president that was very vocal early on, and of course, leader of his country. And he said he sent in some fruit to be tested, and it came back positive for COVID. And he broadcasted it before the world. And now the argument is that he contracted COVID-19, but it had, you know, so now it's the skepticism of that. Like, did he catch COVID-19 or did he die of heart complications? Was he murdered? You know, so you're gonna have people on it, but his remedy for it was prayer and steam therapy and just a natural approach, you know, to the whole COVID thing. Of course, him being a president, he would have more information about maybe how he was approached with, you know, from different people or whatever the case may be, of what, you know, what the true intentions were. But some kind of way he just felt the need to be vocal about that. And now he's 61-year-old dead president.
Wow.
That's how that goes.
That's pretty young, man. When you look at Joe Biden, like straight up, that's too bad. So what was up with this? So what is Joe Biden saying about this immigration situation? Like, are they
Biden
talking,
or Joe Biden?
I mean, I'm sorry, Joe Biden.
Like, I don't know what Joe Biden is saying.
well, real quick before we go to Joe Biden, just wanted to say, because I was looking at the article where it mentioned about the president, J. Rams, where he had a 10-year ailment. And you touched on it a little bit, but as far as the timeline is important to mention that part. He was battling a 10-year ailment with his heart. And that's the problem with this virus too. If you have something long going, especially, you're going to be in a serious one-on-one kind of battle where you have it. So you know, right. that's the only unfortunate, that's the biggest unfortunate part. But go ahead. What you saying about Joe Budden?
No, Joe Biden and this, the administration with this immigration situation, man. It's a lot of people like these centers and all of this type of stuff that they got down here. Like, what's up with that?
Well, what's going on is you still have kids escaping over here to the U.S. from Mexico, because remember the wall didn't get finished put up, right? So that's something that's always been through the years.
Oh, you was for the wall?
Huh?
I said you was in support of the wall.
No, I'm not saying I was in support of the wall. I just brought that up as in the thing of as if that would have possibly stopped it, I guess. But nevertheless, before the wall was because part of it is done, but before it was even made, that's how they were getting over here. But what I would say is, they send their kids over because they want them to at least make it as adults, even if they can. So now these are kids that are coming over. So what happened was, remember, all of the last two administrations, the way it looks, that whole housing area, that wasn't addressed, like even 7 years ago. Not fully, as far as how the structure of it is, of when people come over and then, hey, they're going to sit here and then we're going to move there for a little time and then they'll get deported back over. Those housing areas fully wasn't addressed. And so once again, you got something laying at your table, and this is no defense of Biden speaking how this really has truly been. Because even the Trump administration, other than him, he wanted to build the wall, it still wasn't even set up even as he came in.
So that's all politics, man. What about separating families, man? Is that a good thing or a bad
thing?
Well,
I don't know that he's been separating. When we say separating families, I don't know that he's doing it because not whole families coming in. Reported. It's kids coming in.
Okay, well, listen. That it has been proven that people have been getting separated during this process of getting people up out of here. So, all of these like moral type of, things that are happening within this system, and does it need reform?
Well, they're trying to get the bigger facilities. I think that's the biggest thing they're trying to do right now. They got to roll that out. But yeah, it needs to be reformed as in the process. Yeah, as in the process of how that happens, because obviously people are going to, from that area, they're going to keep trying to escape and coming here to America. First of all, that's something they got to deal with that.
Hold on, y'all, while we still on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at the Tanzanian numbers. They got 21 deaths, and they didn't have no cases from January to April. Then in April they went through a little rough patch. And if these numbers are accurate, they got 0 cases from April, the end of April, or May. The last case was in May 20th. Actually, nah. Okay, April 29th, April 30th, all the way up until March 25th, 2021. No cases.
So what does that conclude as it relates to the death and what?
We'll have to see what this new president, if he let the Americans in, and those numbers spike, and I don't know. It's
Oh, you saying if they allow some tourism and allow some?
No, I'm saying let them people in, and big pharma and the American government or whoever, and the numbers spike, or I don't know. But those 21 deaths, 509 cases.
Well, I don't think they'll be having
these other countries have been doing pretty good. To me, these other countries, all of them aren't perfect, but they've been, a lot of them outside of Brazil and a couple of other ones have been doing relatively good with.
But they have, and that was one of the things that I covered, was the fact that a lot of countries are doing good, but a lot of them are doing the treatment and the preventative, maintenance to the COVID. And they people like Cuba, which they've always been ahead of us when it comes to medicine and medical things like that. But that was part of the doctor's argument as well. I don't know, something to think about, man.
Yes, sir. Stay tuned, y'all. Talk 100, talk100.com. We do this every Friday night. We're going to come back and chop it up with about a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of spring break going on in Miami the past week and a half or so, and a lot of interesting things happening, so keep it locked.
You are listening to Talk 100 with TEL-SCRILLA, D-Murrow, and J. Raphael. Tune in every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
So, Skrilla, you told me that it would be a good idea to invest into properties, you know, rental properties.
Definitely.
We talked about that, you know, a lot about that. And so we also talked about these Airbnbs too, though. And I don't know if you've seen, but, you know, this past week, there was a lot of stories that popped up talking about how a lot of Airbnbs was getting trashed. The most I seen was one, this lady had to end up, like, they did like $50,000 worth of damage. What you think about that, man? And what kind of insurance would pay for some little kids trash and like every single TV, flat screens up on the wall, smashed to 1,000 pieces? like I don't know, when I see stuff like that, it's like somebody just in for the weekend, just here to get drunk. I don't know about that. That's really a risky business.
Well, I wouldn't recommend an Airbnb myself, but the totality of real estate is very vast and profitable, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean that's that's the risk. You know what the risks are. Hopefully that they did protect themselves. Hopefully, bro. That's sad.
Trash, man.
That is, man.
That's
Cabinets.
That's how it is.
Rip the cabinets off the walls, like just senseless stuff. Just drunk, you know, stabbing the mattresses with the kitchen knives. There was all kinds of craziness going on down there, man.
Airbnb was a great idea, and it really, really took off well. It's just like one of those innovative things like Uber and some of the other inventions. I mean, some of the other creative concepts that involved, everyday people all interacting with each other in a business form. But sometimes it just goes bad, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know.
Now another thing that was happening down there is this story about this young girl at Miami Beach, man, for spring break.
Oh man, I'm looking at, that's a sad one right there.
Yeah, it's terrible, man. Just
her name
terrible.
is Christine Engelhardt. Christine Engelhardt, 24 years old. J. Ralph.
Young girl. She was found dead, semi nude.
Yeah.
You know, in her hotel room. Looked like she got robbed a little bit, you know.
They said she was drugged. She was drugged and raped, they said.
Yeah, and these two dirtbags.
Drugged and raped.
I don't know, man. To me, just from looking at these guys and just looking at the facts that we know for sure right now, it ain't looking good for them. Straight up.
Yeah, these two guys, who was it? Evanor Collier, he 21, and Dorian Taylor, 24. They're both from Greensboro, North Carolina. They've been arrested on charges of sexual battery, burglary, and petty theft. They stole credit cards, and the fraudulent use of a credit card. So
now, are they going to be able to prove that? Got to prove that.
Which part?
Well, that maybe, I mean, like, you know, it could have been a consensual situation.
Oh, you
could
talking
have
about
been. That's what the defense is going to fight, even if it's a court appointed. It's like, hey, Or maybe they'll just
Yeah.
confess to it or
Well,
whatnot.
what we know, they're doing a full examination on her body. They'll see if any, basically, let's just be honest, anything rough, anything forced, anything, even though that can happen in a regular consensual situation too. But in this situation, they'll still lean more towards, if it said that it was non-consensual, then they're going to go off of that as part of evidence. A lot of times that's just how that goes. And they would just have to, jury had to believe all the other circumstances around it. Why was the credit card stolen? Why was this, that, and the other? I'm not necessarily doing that to my girl. Stealing her credit card, beating the heck out of her, and then it's the other part of it.
And they got caught with the pills too. They had the pills on them. It was caught on camera using her credit card. You know what I mean? So, but to me, the golden nugget is, look at the picture. When you look at them, they at spring break. Look at this. Nobody thought to go to the barbershop before they went to spring break. Y'all was down here for something else. You know what I mean?
They didn't want to go.
Y'all look like
they wanted to roll right out of bed and show up.
Yeah, they was up to no good, man. Terrible. It's a terrible situation though. But ladies, be safe down there. As y'all out here traveling, look at it, nobody got a mask on. They just out here getting it in.
Man, they just going crazy. Ignoring CDC advice and regulations, baby.
It was a fight down there too. I saw the fight where it was like 100 black women in the middle of the street. Just,
are you kidding me?
Man, going crazy. They snatching bras off.
And for what?
I don't know. Who knows, man.
Wow.
In they bikinis, just in the middle of the street, just fighting like a bunch of, wild animals. God, dog. I can't believe you ain't seen that one, man. It's been on the news all week.
Yeah, that one did slip my mind. Yeah, that did slip my mind. Just a lot going on.
But now they wanna do the curfew now. After all of this, now they want to talk curfew. And see, this is the problem. If y'all really serious about this, like everything has been going on.
Well, you know what's interesting?
We had the Super Bowl. We had all of these parts. We had the All-Star game. All of these things where they know it's going to draw people in, and people are going to violate the CDC recommendations. So,
and I thought Miami mayor was trying to kick him out and stop it, but he pretty much what he did. He caved in and basically let the weekend happen and let them stay. I guess that's what actually unfolded.
People hurt
because at
man.
First he was trying to say no, y'all not no. Y'all not coming down, but again, it like you said, that's the attraction still happens. Just like in Atlanta.
They getting attacked on the other side though, right, Skrilla? They getting attacked by the people saying, nah, man, we already hurting for money. We didn't want our clothes no more.
There you go. That's the back end of it all. Guess what? A good portion of people got that stimulus in their hand, and guess what? That's exactly what it was given for. It was given for you to put right in your hands, knowing that majority of people, not everybody, majority of people, if they don't spend all of it up real fast and don't save any penny, it's a good deal of it will be pushed right back into the economy, reach and business, and to businesses. That's the whole purpose of what they got themselves in a catch-22. They want that activity and that traffic, but it's still at the cost on the health side of things too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So y'all be safe out there at all these little events and stuff. Now, what's up with the your boy Deshaun Watson, man? What's the latest with that?
Well, the latest is it's up to 16 women that have now posed allegations on Deshaun Watson. There was one that said she went, she came to his house. Another one, these are just the last recent few. Other one said that they had an encounter together in California, and he said he wouldn't make her sign a non-disclosure, but he did say, hey, don't mention this at all. And then she said like a month later, back in December, I guess this was in November, he reached out to her and stuff like that, like nothing ever happened. Which that's the part that smells a little fishy to me, because up until now, it's a good chance you both have been talking consensually after that whole alleged thing happened. But now that this has come out and now that everyone's jumping in, you got all these women. It's just turning into a Bill Cosby situation, basically. Not trying to be funny. But now all of a sudden everything's unconsensual. So again, it could be either way, could get proved to be true, either side, theirs, but he definitely gets the right to defend his name and everything. Because this is definitely his name and reputation and career on the line. So it's just wild.
Now,
we got to see what happens. But no criminal charges.
Are they still thinking about trading him, or what's up with the trade situation?
Houston Texans are still holding on because they're trying to do the right thing again by the fans. We don't know if they're lying or not, because all along they could be trying to wait until some kind of the best deal comes up. But on his face, they're saying to everybody, no, we have no intentions on trading him, and we're waiting on this, and he's a high commodity and everything else, even though he wants to go. And even though now, with all of this scandal going on, he's not going to play because he's going to go on the commissioner's exempt list. We know that. Mm-hmm. So he's not going to get a chance to play for him anyway this season, at least more than half of it. He'll be probably suspended. So we're going to see what the Texans are going to do. I personally don't trust anything that comes out of their mouth. I think it's a dysfunctional organization, and I think they do things the wrong way. And I think partially there is some racism going on that based off what things that they said, like you can't let the inmates run the prison.
You know, one thing I know is that this man, his life will never be the same again, man. And that's unfortunate. As good as a player as he was, no matter what, even if he beat this, people are going to always look at him like this is attached to his resume. And that's just too bad, man. You know, if he did it, then so be it. You know, he deserved it. But if all of this come out as a hoax,
as a character assassination and tear down, and that's real. That's real bad. Yeah.
Man, I'll be trying to sue.
And we've seen it done before.
Everybody. Mm-hmm. That's terrible, man. So what's up with your Lakers?
Well, Lakers are what they are. Trade deadline was yesterday. They didn't pick anyone up. There was a little rumors about them wanting Kyle Lowry, but not for what Toronto was asking. They wanted KCP. They wanted KCP, Dennis Schroeder, and they wanted THT. And that's when the Lakers said, no, we're not doing that. That's just too much. You're not going to deplete this. Because if everything was going right and all those same people was in there, Lakers will still be winning games. If Anthony Davis and everybody else was playing, and those guys was just the same role players, all of a sudden, they're going to look bad because they got to get themselves together there in the high street. And then here's both of the leaders down. Now that speaks to them, and they got to get themselves together over this next month. But, you know, until LeBron and Anthony Davis comes back. But really the big issue is they need to address that big man thing, really, because that's what's been showing up even before all of these injuries happen with Gasol. So what they're thinking is the Lakers is going to go after Drummond, who's a Detroit Piston, who's over there in Cleveland now. He officially can be bought out coming up here this weekend. The Cavaliers are going to buy him out, so he'll be on the open market, and then they can just sign him straight up for whatever kind of deal they can make. That's what they're saying they're doing. They're trying to work on, and just go from there, and just wait on Anthony Davis and LeBron to get better. That's basically the plan. That's it.
So you're saying next season then, basically, because it's not going to happen this year.
No, I have no problem with it. I'm still going for the Lakers. They're still my favorite to come out to the West this season.
Yeah. So we're going to definitely see. But I personally think it's a wrap for him. I thought that before even LeBron got hurt. And hopefully, you know, he can just be a good role player coming up, you know, next season or whatnot. But this is one of those injuries that could slow him down. He might not ever be the same.
Man,
he might
I
not
hope
ever
it don't.
be able to reach up to the potential, you know, that we saw this season. Old LeBron. But he sure done had a great career though, man. I don't take nothing away from him for me. You know, even if he but one thing I say is that if they don't make it to the playoffs and have a good run, then it's going to kind of, you know, disqualify that last ring from last year. They got to have a good run, man. They can't get put out first round or nothing like that. So, I don't know. They're gonna not count LeBron's, you know, final ring.
Can't count them out. I think they're going to come back strong, man. I think they're Baby and AD, and I think AD's going to come back strong and really impress everybody. I think he's going to make it happen. We're going to see. I'm just being optimistic, of course, because I got to at least see that they're gonna, fold, or if they need to if they just need to close down this season, like you said, about some chances. Like, hey, we're a little too hurt. Let's go ahead and manage how it goes, but not go all out and make things worse. So that is obviously a possibility. I am a little optimistic, but that is a possibility. So we got to see.
No doubt, man. But we're going to get ready to get on up out of here. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Talk 100 podcast every Friday night. Just check us out on Line Talk, the number 1 HUNNID. But before we get out of here, we got to give a big old salute to our sponsors and biggest supporters. New Leaf Home Solutions in Waterford, Michigan. A premier real estate investment company which can help you make your dream home a reality. Also serving the Metro Detroit area, Herbal Rotation, LLC, a company which helps to draw awareness to responsible herbal healing and helping to diminish the harmful effects of opioid abuse in society. You can catch their newsletter every Monday morning at 8 a.m. at herbalrotation.com/news. And also, if you like live play-by-play sports action and live game recaps, you can check out Real Sports Time with D. Morrow on YouTube and Instagram at the letter R Sports Time, and everywhere else online. You switch to Twitter too, D. Morrow?
And what about Herbal Rotation?
Yeah, but so thanks for tuning in though.
Yeah, yay.
Yo, come holler at us next week while we get things together. We started a little bit late today. We've been having some technical difficulties with this internet, we working it out.
JR, real quick before you got here, I don't know if you can't get out of here without, you got to show some love for the paper now, for the Herbal Rotation.
Oh yeah, you missed that one, man.
You want these opioids to keep going crazy?
No, we know you know that, but you missed that one. You must have missed that one. But you know what I'm saying? Hey, holler back at us though. Tune us in next week. This is what we do. We got a couple updates that we're gonna load up here. What did you do your reports on, D?
On the reports
those segments you did.
Oh yeah, definitely. Make sure you tune in we did a report, a little bit further information on the Deshaun Watson segment and what's really happening here, and then also the free agency. I talked a lot about the free agency, so make sure you guys tune in for that, because that's going to be on the Talk 100 network. We got a segment for that, just touching on that free agency that happened. Your Chicago Bulls, they made it good.
Yes,
pretty
sir.
much them. Chicago Bulls in Miami, I think they won the whole best moves in the trade deadline, so you should be happy about that.
Yeah, excitement. It's going down. Sip something. Friday night. We'll holler at y'all. I'm out of here.
Stay in peace, everybody.